What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the 5th episode of Shadow's House. This one's titled The Debut, which is interesting because I thought the debut was going to be like the thing we build up towards season's finale, but it looks like we're getting there a bit sooner, or at least we're going to learn about the debut a lot earlier than I expected. I'm not quite sure what to think yet, but yeah, this show is interesting. This show is very, very, very interesting in the way it's building itself up and throwing out these little bits of information here and there that will probably eventually be useful for figuring out what on earth is going on with this place. But at the same time, as of right now, it's kind of hard to see why there would be any conflict about what's happening. If you kind of get what I mean. Like, with Promised Neverland's first season, it was very obvious why there was a point of conflict. We're humans, yet we're being raised as food. Direct conflict. I think the conflict of this show will come about as, well, if the shadows do not know why they exist or what their purpose is, and they have an ultimate purpose, or more for the dolls if they find out where they come from. Because I'm fairly convinced that these dolls are just regular human kids that are brought up to this mansion, drink that weird thing from episode 1, and then are now convinced they're dolls and not human. Like, I'm fairly certain that is the big secret of the show, but at the same time, I don't know if that's the big secret of the show. Because they are human. So what happens to the shadow? Does the shadow grow with the doll? Or, like, I'm curious how that works. Or is the shadow split off from the doll and they're, like, two separate entities from the drink? Like, I'm really curious as to how the whole mechanics of that work. And I feel like that's the main point of conflict and mystery in the show. But sometimes I wonder where that could go and whether we'll have enough time to really get to a good point in the course of this show. Because we are rapidly approaching halfway already through this season. So I'm hoping this debut might give a little bit more insight, but I guess we'll see. Last time, I think we finally were introduced to pretty much all the main characters, the 5 main ones. Because we'd already, obviously we've met Emilico a lot. We'd already met Lou earlier on. We've now met Sean and Rum. Where's the Rum gone? And that brings us to our 5? No, who else am I missing? Who else am I missing? Ricky, that's the one, the suck-up. The one who's just, like, sucking up to the Starbearer in attempts of, like, getting somewhere. You know, brown-nosing and all that good stuff. So yeah, we've kind of met our 5 mains from the OP and ED. I'm curious to see if we get a bit more of them, maybe with the debut. I assume we would. Maybe we get to know them a little better as well. That would be nice, because for our 5 mains, they surprisingly haven't been used too much, if you get what I mean. But yeah, we were patrolling after angering Barbie because of the phantom that had been created, essentially. And we're trying to find out who did it, who messed up, but it turns out it was actually just a trapdoor that was loose, and there was just soot. There was soot leaking, and it was collecting, and it managed to form into a phantom and escape. We also found out that you cannot exit the house. There are booby traps that almost killed Emilico. And we mentioned the faceless dolls, which I'm kind of concerned about. Why are they the faceless dolls? Why don't they speak? Why can't we see their faces at all? Like, I guess because they're not allowed to have a face. They're just a doll that serves to exist and serve. So by having a face, I guess a face is a sign of importance, nobility, something along those lines, I'm guessing. Hence why in your room, it doesn't matter. But if you're outside of your room, you need to have your face with you because that's a sign of proper etiquette, I guess. We also need to learn a bit more about Lord Grandfather in all this and who the hell the guy running this debut is and why he's, like, what his plotting and all that stuff is about. But that was from episode 3. I think it was episode 3. That wasn't episode 4. Yeah, no, it wasn't episode 4, but yeah, I'm very curious about this series. I know some people were a little concerned because apparently content was cut. I've no idea if that's important or not. From what I've heard, apparently I think the creator or someone came out and said why they chose to not include something. So whatever, people seem to accept that. So sure, I'll accept it as well. I see no reason for anything being glaringly obviously missed. So if it's just for the pacing of the show, I don't mind, because it happens all the time. Things get cut for the pacing of the show to make it work in anime format, and I'm used to it. It's just when things like Promised Neverland happen, it reminds you, oh wait, yes, there's a fucking limit to how far you can push that and still have people be on your side. So anyway, we're going to get into this episode because I am tired and I just want to watch the show. So, as per usual, these are time-based format reactions here on YouTube. If you want to see the full picture in picture, go to my Patreon down in the description below. £4 a month gets you access to all picture in picture reactions I do on the channel, which is everything from the current seasonal lineup, as well as Patreon request shows such as Lock Horizon Season 2, World Trigger, and Symphogear G. We also have movie reactions, with Kiki's Delivery Service being the movie voted on for this month. So expect to see that at some point this month. If you become a Patreon member today, you'll have access to that when it first releases, which will either be on a Monday or Saturday this month, somewhere along that timeline. We'll see when it actually ends up being, though. But yeah, here on YouTube we do time-based, so bottom left of the screen you'll see a time for the episode. I'll count down 3, 2, 1, play. Then on play, you start the episode, I start the episode, and we should be in sync. We are watching this one on Funimation as per usual since they licensed it. We have the Aniplex logo and then the Funimation logo to start, and I believe we're going straight into OP even after that. There's 12 seconds logos, give or take. I'll call them out as we go past, but you can also see a screen flash on my face or the mic to tell when the scenes are transitioning. Also, this part of my headset, since it's very reflective as well. So, with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Aniplex. Funimation. Cheers. Here we go, OP time. I'm guessing this has something to do with the debut, this Rising of the Curtain. I mean, it is a debut, right? You can kind of get a basic feel for how each relationship is just based on the way they've been framed, I suppose. That's ominous as shit. I also love this shot because it feels like they're just looking into a mirror, but they see, you know. Alright, the debut. Yes. And the completely... Oh, boy, that change in look immediately. Jesus Christ. Oh, boy. Jesus, that's quick. It's implying that maybe the master has been going in her room. Interesting. Hmm. Okay. Oh, adorable. Hmm. I think that one's a bit more complicated. Oh boy, here we go. How are you presenting? Jesus. Okay. Turns into a phantom. Sure. Mm-hmm. Possibly. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Okay. We haven't had our debut? I thought we were the ones that did. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Jesus. Seems like Starbearer is a step even above. Well, Kate will also be discarded, I get the feeling of. Hmm. Oh, here we go. Sure. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Sure about that? Oh boy. Boy. Sure. Mm-hmm. Sure. Oh boy. Sure. Yep. You can tell the different characters now, definitely. uh, okay. Yeah, they must be veiled, I guess. Oh, here he is. Edwards, okay. Debut time. Hmm. Yep. Oh boy. What is the debut going to be? This is not what I was expecting. Oh, definitely not yet. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Oh boy. Oof. I feel like the intention is to be in sync, right? So until some of them start acting, huh? In sync. Look at them in sync. Right, yes. Okay. Okay. They got moved down for not interacting or doing anything, basically. Okay. Poor Kate. Hmm. So it's proper etiquette and stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. Hmm. Oh boy, we're dangerously close. Hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, music time. Okay, a dance. That makes sense. Gotta do it, otherwise. Yes. She loves herself. Mm-hmm. 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 We've got to dance as well. Let's get our personality back. That second one was not a what? The translations. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. She is using the controlling of thing. Yep. Mm-hmm. So they didn't go quite as dark with it. They, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. Huh? The hell triggered all that? Out into the garden? Okay. Best ED time. Here we go. I'm really not sure on the rules of this debut. Like, why were they marked down during their dance? I don't know. I really thought the debut would be like on the theater stage in front of a group, not in this weird setting. I thought being in sync and being like we saw with was it me and Sarah? Like seeing them, that's where I thought they would be going with it, you know? And I really thought that's would be the key, but it doesn't seem to be. It seems to be like a whole mix of things. Next time. The Garden Labyrinth. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that debut at all. I really don't. The only thing I can think of that would probably get them marked down is because they said with Ricky and Patrick it was like back and forth as to who was leading. Whereas everyone else, the Shadow was clearly the one leading. Like, Kate was clearly leading Emilico. Louise was clearly leading Lou. I think it's fairly clear that John was leading Sean. Shirley probably was leading Rum, let's be clear. Like, Rum's not leading anything anytime soon, probably. So I think that's the only reason they could have been demarked. I don't know. It's really, really hard to tell. Yeah, I feel like there was a couple of translation mistakes in there, because I'm 90% certain Mia has already debuted, right? Like, Mia and Sarah, they 100% have debuted, right? I don't think I'm misthinking there. Because they were talking about the debut and the whole process before. I mean, she was out with her, she was in, like, the Perfect Sync thing. She was clearly, like, far more knowledgeable and far more advanced than any of the candidates we've got here. So I feel like that was a mistake. And then the laugh louder or laugh harder or whatever translation note, and then she went serious face. It's like, I don't think that was what you thought it meant, translator. So I feel like I'm slightly worried about how many other translation issues there might have been that episode, because that's two that were fairly interesting. One was just factually incorrect, I believe, and the other was clearly not even close to what was actually shown on screen. So slightly worried about translation stuff. So if anyone notices any other translation mistakes or anything that was a bit off, please let me know, because I don't want to have any misinformation. So like I said, I'm 90% certain Mia and Sarah have debuted at this point. Hence why she was out in the first place, because I didn't think the Shadows would go out with their faces prior to their debut, so. I assume all 5 of them must pass, because otherwise we'd be getting rid of one of our main title characters already, which I don't think is going to happen either. Yeah, very interesting debut style. It's really not at all what I expected. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I think I need to think on it more, probably rewatch it again, because yeah, the debute's really thrown me off, I'll be honest. It's come a lot sooner than I expected, and it's a lot different than what I was expecting as well, so kind of curious where this goes with the garden now. The garden labyrinth, as it were. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one as per usual. Leave a like if you did, as well as your comments what you thought of the episode. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the spring 2021 live you can find on my channel, excuse me. Thank you for watching. Until next time. See you guys later.